Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Week 17 and 18 of our Hurricane Ian situation, road back to Sanibel. We are sitting in our house in Sanibel. There is no air conditioning because the air conditioner units
Got flooded during the storm.
got flooded, but also it wasn't just about the flooding. It was like the wind was pushing a bunch of salty spray and water. So we were told by numerous AC people that
just to replace them
because they're just not working right. And even if the flood hadn't reached them, it would have been the wind too. Yeah. So we did get some temporary units, some in-room units that we put kind of throughout our house. It still gets a little warm in here, but it's definitely better.
It's not super hot right now. It's in the 70s. Mm-hmm. It's still a little humid though, so it's a little warm from time to time. So
we always can go out in Annie the Ark, and she's very peaceful. You just go out there and sit sometimes and close the blinds, and then you feel like you're in another place, because sometimes when you drive around this island, you do want to be in another place because there's trash everywhere. We are calling it Trash Island. Trash pickup is happening, but sometimes some of the debris blows, and so Tommy and I have been taking these little pickers and going and picking up trash along our walks. We're still working to clean up our property. We have to replace our siding, and there's numerous other things that we have to do. We still are in limbo a little bit between FEMA and our insurance, and I'm going to let Tommy explain about our insurance.
We finally had a FEMA inspector come today. Finally, it's week 17.
No, we're on week 18.
Oh, week 18.
Going into week 19 now.
Finally had a FEMA inspector finally come today. They have a center on the island where you can go to and meet with FEMA people, meet with the Small Business Association for the disaster loans. And we did that also and got that all taken care of. So we're going to get some money coming that way, at least from the loan.
We weren't going to, but we talked with our lawyers, had them read the verbiage, and one of the counselors at the FEMA facility, they were able to very help. You take out, we explained the difference between secured and unsecured.
So we took out the maximum amount of unsecured funds, which means they won't put a lien on your property or get listed as another mortgager on your property. So then if you get insurance checks, then they have to sign it too, and it's a whole thing. So we just took out the unsecured amount, which should be enough to get the stuff that we need it for, which is stuff that's not going to be covered by the other insurances, which is like the flood. So that would be like some of the AC units, the pool equipment, the pool electrical, stuff like that. And then some of the contents that we also lost downstairs, some of my tools, beach cart.
No, it's not even the beach stuff. It's stuff like that. Cords.
One of the things I didn't think about is like extension cords. All my big outdoor extension cords were all downstairs. I was able to salvage one of them, maybe two, but the rest were all crusty and bad. So.
Even the ones that were up high, like the wind blew. So like some things will be covered by wind because the things that we had up high
got blown off.
Because we know about how high the water got under our house, and being here all the time now and seeing it, you know what the wind caused, and that it wasn't all flood with some of our contents underneath our house.
Right. So we started to get some money finally. We've got some money from flood.
But explain the process on what you have to do to get your insurance money.
So now that I've got the check in the mail from them, I have to send it to my mortgage company, who has to endorse it, and then they have to send it back to me. And then I have to have, because we have a home equity line, I have to have the other person endorse it, the other mortgage company endorse it, so that we can finally get it and deposit the check. And then they may or may not hold it and require you to submit estimates of what you're going to have done first before they'll send the money. So that's a whole other issue that we didn't know.
Well, nobody really, not a lot of people knew that. And for anyone who's looking at buying a beach house, because I know some people that are right now, and they're looking to buy right on the coast, and we are both in agreement with, if you do not have like $100,000 in savings.
Just in funds that you can
Like accessible
cover.
funds, you know, it's like a lot of people will have that kind of funds, but it'll be in IRA accounts or something like that. And it's like, if you don't have money that you can access immediately, please be aware that you will have to wait if you are ever in any kind of a disaster, natural disaster situation.
Like, just for instance, our realtor that we know, his house was raised and he didn't really have any flooding damage, but the wind ripped off part of his roof, collapsed some trusses, and he had, in order to save his house, he had to pay to have it gutted out of pocket. Now he got reimbursed from that later from his insurance, but you know, if not, he probably would have lost the entire house. So it's just those kind of little things that you don't think about or know about, or nobody really tells you when you come to a coastal area. Just be prepared.
So other than that, things are moving. We are working still very hard to clean up our yard and to clean up the island, because it is just trash, as I've said before, everywhere. So
I think that was kind of the biggest thing when we got back that looked bad, like at our home, was that the yard was a mess. There were weeds. There's weeds growing everywhere. It looks like nobody's been here in 4 months, which nobody has. And then there were
like
weeds
the
everywhere.
roofers.
Yeah.
That covered our house, and we tried to get them to come back and clean it up, left just trash all over our yard, and we tried really hard to get them back here, and they didn't. So they're not going to get the roof job, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We just needed them to tarp, and then depending on their
They'd have them do the roof later, but they left trash
no.
everywhere.
And then like there were wires, so we had a hard time getting our RV in the driveway when we first got here, because we had no idea that there was like these wires. They weren't live,
right?
But
I guess Comcast, when they put in the new wires out on the pole, they just tied it up in the trees and left it there. And it was only like about 10-12 feet off the ground. Luckily, it was just high enough I could get the motorhome in on one side of the driveway. So it's sitting out there like crooked in the driveway, because I haven't tried to like straighten it back out, but that was the only way we could get it in at a certain angle. So that's just little stuff like that. It's been interesting.
And be prepared for price increases like never before. We are going to reach out to the Attorney General's office, and I do encourage anyone that thinks that price gouging is going on in any area where you live, call the Attorney General's office or email them or something, because our yard cleanup alone, we had trees cleaned up like last year, really messy trees for $200, because they were so and now we have been quoted prices from $4,000 to $9,000. Our neighbors are paying well into $20,000 plus for home and yard cleanup. These prices, they are ridiculous.
Really like stuff that should have cost $500 or would have cost $500 in July or August is now $2,000.
Yeah. So we're doing our part to voice our opinion on that, and turning in people to the Better Business Bureau or whatever. The Attorney General's, though, we have done the research. That is where you need to go if you do believe that price gouging is happening in any situation, a living situation, an apartment situation where rental rates are being raised for no reason. You have to get people involved. So voice your opinion on that, because we definitely are. But we're safe.
We're back home at least.
We're back home. Now. We are very fortunate. Yes, we have damage, but we count our blessings every single day. So thank you for your prayers, and we'll continue to make updates and follow us. Watch my website, carolynsbloomingcreations.com, for updates. We're on TikTok at Carolyn J. Braden, and Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere. Carolyn's Blooming Creations or Carolyn J. Braden. And we're just trying to get the word out there, because Southwest Florida still needs
bad shape still.
So much help. So if you're coming for spring break, bring your trash bags and not your beach towels, because you will find trash if you're coming to Southwest Florida.
Everywhere.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.